First week, I remember Amal transferred me my first week of pay, right? And I'm Jade, I'm ready. What is it? Talk to me, Mum. She goes, oh, I just transferred you your pay this week. It's $240. I literally...
So today I have two of my very good friends, Jade and Amal, the two biggest boss women that I know. Thanks for coming on my show.
Thank you for having us.
Oh.
You'll get that a lot. That's really weird. That is really weird.
Tell you two are twins.
I know, you'll seriously get it all throughout this whole podcast.
How long have you two been in business for together?
We've been in business for
Jade's going to add on 10 years.
No, I do always get it wrong because it feels like an eternity, but we've been in business for about 6 years.
No, we've been in business for 5 years.
We've been in business for 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
And we've known each other for over 10.
Yeah.
So we went to high school together.
So tell me the whole story.
So basically we went to high school together, and at high school we weren't exactly like the tightest of friends.
Yep.
We were acquainted and we often went to like parties together and things like that, but we weren't
Sleepovers.
In the same group.
Yeah, we weren't exactly in the same friendship group, but like we did social things together and whatnot. And then after high school, it would have been maybe about 12 months post high school, I actually ran into Amal at a cafe, which was nearby in one of our locals, and I was with my bunch of girlfriends and she was with her bunch of girlfriends, and she'd lost so much weight. Like it was literally like running into a completely different person from that I knew at high school. And I actually got goosebumps like talking about this, but I just said to her, you look unreal. Like, what have you done? I think at that point she'd lost about 30 kilos.
Yeah, 30 kilos.
I could not imagine you 30 kilos.
It was a different girl.
Crazy.
30 kilos, mind you, just to set the context for everyone, Amal is quite a short girl.
Yeah,
so 30 kilos.
Stand up, we got kids.
Oh, gosh. I'm wearing heels.
Amal's
Quite
next to me.
yeah. Anyway, so Amal's quite short, so 30 kilos on top of her. It was like looking at a different woman. Anyway, and I just said, you look unreal. Like, what have you done and how did you do it? And she said, I've been eating really clean and I've been weight training. She's like, come and train with me.
Yeah.
And I always say that, it was really unusual for me to take up that offer because I wasn't one to expand my friendship groups and stuff like that.
Even myself, I did not want to train with anyone.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm committed.
Yeah,
I'm
but
committed.
for
Don't get in my way.
Yeah, but for some reason the stars aligned that night, and I got home and I DM'd her on Facebook and said it was really good to see you, and I'd really love to take you up on that training session. Then we started training together and we never skipped a beat.
No, and then we, as like being competitive people, were like, how do we take this to the
further.
next stage? So we decided to fitness model.
So sorry, wait, were you training together for
yeah,
quite a
so
while?
we were
Yeah,
training
a couple
together
of
about
months
months,
at least.
And we're like, how do we, I guess, like challenge ourselves?
She looked great. I wasn't seeing results. I was just like, I'm here for the long haul.
I'm committed.
Yeah, I'm fully committed.
So we found a coach online and we started our 6-month prep. And this 6-month prep was so restrictive. We ate literally chicken, broccoli, fish, asparagus, sometimes oats, sometimes protein powder, no cheat meals, and trained twice a day every single day.
It was really grueling, and by the bodybuilding books, we'd done everything right. We ticked all the boxes, and then the day came where we had to step on stage, and like whilst we did have a transformation, we weren't looking our absolute best, and we did ask questions.
Yeah.
We sort of we stood on stage, we thought we've done everything right, we've ticked all the boxes, and we don't look 100%.
You're not feeling it.
We weren't feeling ourselves. And in that time as well, we'd lost, I always reflect on this period of time for, me personally, and I know Amal would agree too, is we just became really terrible humans as well.
You become really selfish.
Yeah, we had families and we had boyfriends, and we neglected both of those avenues, and we didn't socialize with anyone else other than each other. It was great that we had each other, but there was a world outside of what we were doing that we just completely neglected. So so that sort of started a passion in us of wanting to regain balance as well as achieve results as well, and sort of marry the two together. So we started asking questions.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, why do we look like this?
Why do we look like this? Why do we not get to enjoy food? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And
it's true though.
And we were just really curious, and we were very passionate about nutrition and sort of learning more. I'd heard of this guy in our local area in the Shire. His name's Jonathan Dixon, and he was prepping athletes, and I was seeing on Facebook that they were eating like skinny cow ice creams and bowls of cereal and stuff, and these guys were standing on stage with absolute like cheese grade abs.
They were winning.
And I was curious, and so this I thought 100% like we've got to get on this bandwagon.
At this point, we had rebounded, and we had put on 10 kilos
That's
each.
what they say about that though. They normally say because you're so into training, and then as soon as you stop doing it, you put on.
Well,
double.
it's human nature. Like you
Yeah.
dangle a carrot in front of someone's face for long enough, you can have all the discipline in the world, but eventually you're going to grab it. And the thing with comp prep is you don't have it for so long that once you get it, you're like, oh, Jesus.
Exactly.
Like,
The day that you
this
finish,
is
you're off to
100%.
McDonald's. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so we acquired coaching through Jonathan, and he sort of started to educate us on the science of nutrition. And rather than just receiving a plan from him, we became really engulfed in the science of it. And we found ourselves, you know, like we were scheduling little like mini like seminars and stuff like that. He was having us in. He used to operate on the storeroom above from ASN Miranda, the supplement store.
I know where that is.
Anyway, so he used to operate up there, and we used to go up there, and he used to give us studies, and he used to like talk us through little seminars, and he wrote us like big ebooks on like, you know, learning the nicks and knacks of flexible dieting, and we just absorbed it.
We were so invested in understanding how the body works and how the body recognizes nutrition. Yeah. And then we were like, look, we're ready for another show. Let's do this the flexible dieting way. So let's test science to the absolute limit. So we got on Instagram and we made an oath. We said we would eat ice cream every single night for 16 weeks. And back then I was
step on stage.
Yeah, I was little fit girl and she was fit and hungry. And we started our fitness accounts and
we started our IG handles, and I think we were sort of emerging in the market with that sort of claim at a period of time where clean eating had a huge stamina behind it.
That.
You know, it was just, it was like a huge social phenomenon, and people almost kind of got off on the fact that you could be as absolutely restrictive as possible and sort of keep it going for as long as you can. That was almost like a craze. Like who can restrict the most? Like, and not having cheat meals and the no cheat meal fan club and all that kind of stuff it was a social phase.
Yeah, back in 2014.
Yeah, so
you guys went
against it all.
Against everything, literally. And then 16 weeks had passed. We stepped on stage. I got down to about 8% body fat. I had really defined ab lines. It was crazy. And we were just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
We're like,
why does the world
not know about this? Like, why doesn't anyone know about this?
I lost about 17 kilos, and in my first week I was on 2,200 calories. And
sorry, is that a lot of calories?
That's a lot of calories. Well, not a lot of calories, but
to the normal person that thinks they need to lose weight on 1,200, that's a substantial amount more.
Yeah.
So in context of the weight loss, I lost 1 kilo in the first week, and I was eating ice cream and cereal, and I was on 2,200 calories. Like, that was quite mind-blowing for me, and that was a bit of a flick of the switch moment.
And were you training every day as well?
We were, but it wasn't as intense, and there wasn't so much of a emphasis on the exercise part as opposed to nutrition. And that was nice and easy for us, because it meant that we could enjoy life. We could get a bit more balance back. You know, when you're hitting the gym in the morning and then you're going back at night and you might throw something in the middle for comp prep, it's just not sustainable.
No,
and
it's not enjoyable either.
And the carrots.
It's unenjoyable. Anyone would go miserable.
And do you know, being a nurse myself, it's actually really bad for diabetes, because what happens is your body's supposed to stay like that. And when you go so when you go up eating so healthy all the time, and then you go all the way down, it's like your metabolism's going like that.
There was a lot of inconsistencies.
It's not good.
Remember, I had hormonal acne. I think Amal lost her period. Like, there was a lot of things that our bodies were just sort of screaming and saying, this isn't right.
We were eating all the healthy foods like during our clean eating time, but we weren't healthy on the inside. And it just didn't make sense. Like, why were our bloods not saying that everything was like perfect?
Actually, we both got our bloods done.
We both got our bloods done in the
perfect.
first prep, and everything. It was just so
everything was out of whack.
Yeah.
It was really mind-blowing.
And then we got them done after the whole flexible dieting, because we're like, this is too good to be true. Like, surely something's wrong. Everything was healthy.
Everything had leveled up. It was
Everything leveled up.
Crazy?
It was so crazy. And then we sort of, in the same period of time, we started working with Jonathan. He whilst he loved dieting and educating on it, the actual writing of meal plans, which he was really high in demand for at the time, wasn't really sort of something that he wanted to invest his time into.
He was literally putting kangaroo mints ×4 on the meal plans, and then a bowl of ice cream or cereal to like balance it out.
He just didn't have the knack
and
we
then
had. It was a
Yeah.
numbers game for him, but we were foodies that
we
wanted to facilitate
have
the
like
numbers.
burger recipes and taco recipes and like all the fun foods, and convert that into like a calorie-friendly way of eating.
Yeah, so we started working with him, and he was sort of feeding clients to us, and we were pumping out meal plans on the weekend. at this period of time as well, our lives just merged. We were one human. Our parents used to laugh that I used to attend all of her family things. I was her plus one.
Literally, likewise. Like we came together as a package.
Yeah,
you are.
We were a package deal. And we were working full time at Google at this point. We were studying full time. We were fitness modeling full time.
Were you studying the same thing as well?
No, I was studying a Bachelor of Commerce, majoring in marketing and management.
And I was doing a Bachelor of Law, majoring in media and communications and journalism. I was very confused. My degree, obviously. It shows that I didn't know.
And
then, it always happened to do something completely different.
Yeah. And then we were running Equalution on the side, and it got to a point where we would literally turn around at each other at work and be like, okay, this client inquired and we've got to write their meal plan. And then we'd be working on the train there, the train home, in after hours. Like it was just Equalution.
But it wasn't work. We were so invested. And we were doing,
it was passion.
For sure. It was fueled by passion, and we were doing so much in our after hours and in our spare time. Admittedly, it didn't leave a lot of time for like our lives. So a lot of our, 18 to 25 years are a bit blurry for us in terms of like the social scene.
But I wouldn't take it back.
No, either would be. Because it's funny actually, because we really had the same
we
journey.
Are very similar in our stories.
I remember our businesses sort of started to grow at the same time. We were familiar with each other.
We knew who each other were. You were always sending out meal plans to all the girls that I hung out with. And I was like, these girls are absolutely killing it.
We were literally like on the same trajectory, like you and us. It was kind of cool. And we were both the same age as well.
Yeah, and we both had the same drive. Yeah. We were very focused in our own little worlds.
I feel like the three of us as well are really like masculine females. Like we're very like sort of like set in our ways and
very
like we've got and so many people always ask like, what's it like to be a woman in business and all that? And I think nothing of it. Like I've just got I've got just as much of an opportunity as a bloke. Like
I think we've got better opportunities to be honest.
It's for sure.
And then so the business started.
So it got to a point where we was
say the story about when I was at Google and I messaged you and I said I just did it.
So it got to a point where work was so hectic.
We started talking about
we threw
quitting.
the idea around about quitting and flying over to America, and then one day I was literally in like the most important meeting and I got a ping on Google, like Google chat, and Jade's like, I just quit my job. Your turn. And I was like, wow.
So we'd
just put it on me like that.
We'd entertain the idea. And the good thing about us as a partnership, like one of our strongest traits are even back when we didn't have the odds on our side, and I'll tell a funny story about my dad with this. Even when the odds weren't on our side, we always dreamed like really big. And Amal phoned me one day and she said, oh God, she goes, we've just got so many meal plans. Wouldn't it be so great if we could just punch everything into an app and it could just spit out a meal plan? So then we got on this train of thought of we're going to move into the tech space and we're going to build a mobile app. At that time, Uber hadn't even come to Australia. So that was a very far-fetched.
Technology back then wasn't really
didn't have the wind.
How did you even know about it then? Like what made you think
it more just came on the scene because
background info. I used to be a gamer, love games, love tech, love everything to do with computers.
And then when I think we got, because we were working in Google, we were in a space where people sort of resorted to technology.
Very innovative.
And technology was a solution to problems.
Yeah.
So naturally, like we sort of geared our mindset towards that. And we also were using MyFitnessPal at the time as well because we were flexible dieters and tracking. And we saw a lot of flaws in that. And we sort of just thought that we could provide a solution.
You knew exactly what you wanted to take
we didn't know what we were in for. It was an idea at the time. And we found out that Silicon Valley was like the tech hub of the world.
Yeah, so we quit our jobs at Google. We told Jonathan, look, we've quit our jobs. We want to take Equalution full time. Like, are you in? And he's like, girls, like, I'm passionate about nutrition, but I don't see my future in nutrition.
He wanted to own a supplement store.
Yeah, he's like, go for it. He's like, I'm fully supportive. Go for it. And we got on a flight.
We took a one-way ticket.
To
San Francisco. And I remember
this story.
What are we doing? Like,
I remember I phoned my dad and I said, Dad, listen, like, I've deferred my degree. So I deferred the law degree. I'm 4/5 of a lawyer technically. So I said, I've deferred my degree, and I said, Amal and I are going to do Equalution full time. We've just quit Google as well. And Dad goes, oh, so listen, you've just quit your full-time job at Google on 6 figures a year. You deferred your law degree and you're going to start a diet company. You're not even a nutritionist. Right, Jade, right. And I was just like, well, yeah, but like, but that's where we, and really our parents did, they backed us. Like, I'm sure they thought we're lunatics.
My dad said the same thing, don't worry.
Yeah.
I was a nurse. I was studying to do psychology, and I quit everything and did teeth whitening. So we're same on.
My dad was like, go for it. I have your back 100%. He was like meeting us overseas. Like, I'm supporting you all the way.
Yeah. They backed us 100%. We had really nothing in our way. We were very lucky in that we like lived at home at the time.
Sure.
And then we'd saved quite a substantial amount of money. We took all that and went over to San Francisco. So that was
we spent about 4 months in America. We attended the startup grind, and then we started to become really lost. We were like, we don't understand this market.
We wanted to start over there, but we didn't know where to start.
And then
like,
we started thinking of
it.
other business ventures. Like, we wanted to open up a health cafe, and we started to lose focus. And we then decided and realized that Australia was the market that we knew the best, and if we were going to launch anything properly, it would be in our home country. So we got on a plane and came back home broke.
No money. We spent all of our money.
Literally, we spent $80K each.
Yeah,
like, we
really
lived
bad.
like superstars.
We lived like queens.
Yeah, like
it was a bit of self-discovery. We were
Um,
living in the best apartment in New York, and then the best apartment in LA,
Just
and
living it
then
up.
top hotels in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I don't know who we thought we were.
Yeah, at one point we because we were at this like really beautiful apartment block. It was next to the Nice Guy, which is like where a lot of celebrities go.
Sure.
And we would come out and they would think we were some sort of celebrity, and we started to play along with it, like, but like, don't capture us.
We lived it up in America.
Yeah, we did.
Really
we lived our best lives. We did.
We played our cards right. We had a really good time.
So we came home and first day of working
hysterical.
in Sydney.
Amal yawns. She sits opposite me.
And we're like, what do we do now? Like, we were at Miranda Westfield, so we were sitting at a cafe. Yeah, a cafe there, getting free coffee because one of our friends would make coffees for us. And we're just sitting there and we're like, okay, so what do we do? Like, we have like 4 clients at this point, and we're just like, what do we do now?
And then that's sort of where we started to like sort of put our heads together. And it was the first time that we actually had to think for survival. You know, like while we were living at home, there was like no pressure on us. We still had bills and stuff, and we ran out of money. So we need to get going. So then we started to do a lot of like free transformation. So we started working with like family and friends and just sponsoring them with just a body transformation package. We do customized nutrition for them, take before and after photos, and then we started pumping Instagram.
And do you think Instagram started getting bigger at that stage?
Yes.
That was when if we all started around the same time, it was when it was growing.
Yeah. So we neglected it a lot, to be honest.
We were growing our own personal, and then we created the Equalution account. And one day, Jade and I were on the phone, and I come from a Lebanese culture.
Sure.
And dates is like a thing. It's like a sweet that everyone eats in my culture. I don't understand. But one day I was like, Jade, I don't understand why my parents like snack on dates. Like, it's so weird. And we're like, for 4 dates, you can have like a whole bowl of cereal. And we're like, hang on.
Here we go.
So I got my mum's little step ladder out. I lined up 4 dates and a bowl of cereal equivalent in calories, got onto the step ladder, took my phone out and took a bird's eye view of it. And then we just edit it on like
and
art
put the calories
or like paint
left
or whatever
and, right.
and upload on Instagram. And it went viral.
And then our next one was it was at the time acai berry bowls were like going wild. And so we did that versus a bacon egg muffin and a hash brown. It was like significantly lesser calories, about half. And then we just started to get on this trend of like just explaining what we knew best, which was the science of nutrition. It's not that food is good. It's not that it's bad. It's recognized by the body numerically. And we had a really strong and very like genuine message as well. And, you know, never once did we neglect health or say that junk food was preferred or anything like that. We really neutrally stood with good nutrition, but at the same time, we were just sort of like revealing things that people were pretty set in their ways with at the time.
And it's like the education of it. I love going on the page and looking at the things. I'm like, how does that even add up? It's unbelievable.
And we got challenged. Like, people gave us
all the time.
Really?
Especially
a lot of
back
heat,
in 2016. People were just like, you know, this doesn't make sense. A calorie is not a calorie. They're all different. And the way that your body like digests it is different. And we just like...
We had big influencers that would get in their story and say, don't look at like bogus like calorie comparison pages and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah,
you know?
literally. It's a science.
Yeah, it's a science. But so we were always ballsy.
Yeah.
We were always ballsy.
Well, can we hold it there? We've got another half and I want to hear all about the story now going into the business.
Okay. Cool. I'm excited.
Are you wanting a dramatically wider smile? If you're a coffee drinker or a lover of red wine, then Sparkling White Smiles Premium Ultra White Treatment is for you. The Ultra White treatment consists of 2 sittings 1 week apart. This headlining treatment is tailored to leave your teeth up to 14 shades lighter post-treatment. For bookings and inquiries, send an email to info@sparklingwhitesmile.com.au. That's info@sparklingwhitesmile.com.au.
So the business is now up and running.
Yeah.
We have the 4 clients. And then how's it just...
Killing it with our 4 clients.
Yeah, how is it just completely blown out of the roof?
Well, the first week that it required a lot of mental stamina for us, patience, and also trust in what we were doing.
Of course.
So the first week, I remember Amal transferred me my first week of pay, right? And I'm Jade, I'm ready. What is it? Talk to me, Amal. She goes, I just transferred you your pay this week. It's $240. I literally, am I allowed to swear on this?
You can swear.
I was like, what the fuck?
Literally, she looked me in the eye and she goes, Amal, I cannot afford my car with this amount. I was like,
I was like, this is wild. And she literally grabbed me. For anyone that knows Amal, she's a little pocket rocket. She's got assertion and she'll pull it out whenever she has to. So she grabbed me and she said, listen, we're going to do this. So it's $240 this week, but it's not going to be $240 in a year's time. And we'll just like that. We were just each other's fuel. And we both had moments throughout the whole, the whole cycle of it where we did have, setbacks and questioning everything and thinking when you really break it down and sit with what you've done, it's pretty wild. Yeah. And we had moments of realization with that, but all in all, we kept each other sort of firmly on the ground
together.
Yeah, we're very grounded. Yeah. And for us, we didn't pull a salary for the first couple of years. We kept all the money in the business. We didn't know at that point what we would spend it on, but we just knew that the best decision was to keep it in the business. So for 2 years, we were in the same outfit, same jumper. I had like a pink version. Jade had like a black version. Yeah. Or like a, what was it, like a burgundy color. And we used to just wear the same outfit every single day.
We weren't elaborate, but I think we were really cruisy with it all as well. And I think a lot of it comes down to as well where you come from. You know, like a lot of people sort of love that Amal and I are still Amal and I, despite, everything that's going on. And I really do think it draws back to where you come from, where we started, like in terms of, our hometown, our families, our friends, and a lot of that is still the same for us.
It is.
Yeah.
So
really I think that helped throughout
I like hang out with you guys out of work and stuff, and it's exactly the same. Nothing changes.
We're active every single day. Like sometimes even trackies. Sometimes no effort is put into our appearance at all. So we're still the same Jade and Amal that we were 5 years ago when we started the business.
Yeah, but that's the best part about it.
It
you
is.
Never change who you are. Never forget where you came from.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, we started off with our 4 clients, and then as we started to post things on social media, both in the context of education and then also the proof in the pudding with transformations, that's when we started to get wind, and we just naturally started to get I've got goosebumps. We just started to get more inquiries, more interest, a little bit of noise, and then the Daily Mail started writing about us because we were sort of posting these really like shocking comparison photos, and as much as like sometimes bad press can be good press, it was like it was very good for the noise that we were making in the market. And then we started working with influencers.
Sure. Yeah.
So our first really big influencer was Sky Wheatley, who's one of our friends, and she's great. Like her spirit is great. She's raw. Genuine, just very real on Instagram. We loved that. So she started to share her struggles with nutrition, which were much like our own.
This was straight out of Big Brother.
Sure.
So I think she'd gone through a phase where she'd put on a little bit of weight in Big Brother, came out, and I think she was struggling a little bit mentally with the whole binge and restrict cycle.
Like most females, she was in this cycle of like really restrictive eating, and then she'd blow out, really restrictive and blow out.
And she was a party girl as well. So she'd
like
be going out on the weekend.
Things like socializing and eating out, and like they don't really factor into a diet, but they're sort of like advice for a lot of people. So we smashed her DMs and just said, please just like give us a chance.
Give us 1 week, literally just 1 week.
And she did our program. She did our program and she got unbelievable results, and she posted her before and afters and her real experience, and she said, I'm not getting paid for this.
I remember seeing it.
She just started to post, and I think it always comes from a really good place when influencers are doing things like and not getting paid for it and openly talking about that, Did
you make them like sign anything, or
no?
It was all just
organic.
Yeah, that's what we do as well.
And then as Sky was posting, her girlfriends and people that followed her were contacting us, and then we became quite good friends with Chloe Zepp and her partner Mitchell Orville, and then they had a following, and then they started posting about us, and slowly but surely we started to build relationships with people who spoke and people listened. And we didn't have that platform at the time. And what we really loved about our relationship with influencers was that, you know, we were just normal girls just doing our thing. And we said, guys, you know what? We love what we do. If you want to post. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Dieting,
but that's what grew the business.
And dieting's quite private. So for us to have the enthusiasm level of people that want to actually share their journey on the other end of social media that might even be shy and conservative, that's really powerful for us.
100%.
And we've reaped the benefits of that. A lot of people are just really happy to share because they really believe in it. So that was luck. Luck was on our side with that.
And your before and afters are incredible though.
Thank you.
You look at them and you're just like...
My mum, literally, so I say to her all the time, Mum, when I was a kid, you fed me so bad. Like, I was bullied when I was younger. And she's like, I am to thank. Because for all of this, there would be no Equalution.
Yeah,
and if it wasn't, we were like, Mum, you cannot say that. Like, that is not a thing.
But like most people and females, Amal and I have a story when it comes to, you know, our body image and our dieting history and our transformations ourselves. And I think
even your own transformations like that. Goes wild
we
when
were
that
our
gets
first 2 clients. We've been through it. We've lived through every challenge, every high, every low, every emotion that you feel going through a body transformation journey.
But that's what makes your business so big because, you know, you 2 of the owners, but you know exactly what is going on.
Yeah,
you know
and
exactly
I do think that's a key in business as well, is to know and understand your market, but not only to that extent. But
you are the market. You know exactly from the top down.
And
you know
even
exactly
like
what's
when we
going
make
on.
business decisions today, Jade and I will be like, okay, what would we want
do.
as 2 females that, you know, are body conscious, you know, want to look great, want to enjoy food, want to socialize. Like, what would we want and what would we expect from this service? So we always say that.
So is it more girls, more females?
Yeah, a lot more males. I'm sorry, females than males. Yeah.
What is the percentage?
95% of females, 5% males.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the
what do you think that is?
Well, the 5% that are males are usually just on board because the partners are on board.
Yeah.
So we do couple plans. So what we do is sync up their partner plans so they can enjoy the same food.
But your market would be women?
Yeah.
Because
and
they would be bringing them
with
on?
females, I feel like females are usually the ones that seek help when it comes to a body transformation goal, whereas males are very independent. They'll do their online search and they'll implement it themselves.
Sure.
Whereas females want to feel the support and be a part of a community and feel empowered.
It's
so true.
For males, and this is a little bit of a generalization, but this is just my observation.
Sure.
I do think there's less of an emotional attachment to food than females and food and their bodies.
Yeah,
it's true.
I was talking to a girlfriend this morning actually, and her husband is just like ripped. And I said, what does he eat every day? And she goes, honestly, I prep his food every day. And for our whole marriage, he's eating the same thing and it's all clean. It's all clean food. And men, I just feel like it's just not on their radar. Whereas females, we invest in food just as much as we invest in our...
We like to socialise more. We feel FOMO, whereas men
turn
are like...
to it emotionally.
Men will stay home, play PlayStation.
Every month we're getting...
Yeah, we do. We have hormonal changes that scream cravings and things like that.
So there's so many factors, but that's understandable.
Yeah.
So now the business is wild and huge and absolutely everywhere. What are the next things? Like, talk about the app. How did the app come into it?
So like Jade mentioned, it was one day where I caught up and like, we have so many clients, like wouldn't it be great if we had an app that just spat it out for us? And then we started to become more recognized as female entrepreneurs. And this was back in, I think 2016 when it wasn't really a thing. And because I had previously studied at Sydney Uni, we were applicable for a program called Incubate at Sydney Uni. So it was like an accelerator program. Okay. So we applied for it and we got accepted. And then we
were sort of on the hunt for an accelerator program as well, because when we went to Silicon Valley,
an accelerator program, so you already done your degree?
So pretty much what it is, it's like, I would say like assistance to entrepreneurs that have an idea and then they want to execute it. Yeah.
Okay. And it's usually in the tech space that they really assist with.
We didn't know how to get there.
We didn't know how to get there. But when we went to Silicon Valley and we went to this seminar called the Startup Grind, which was probably the only good money that we ever spent when we were over there. Yeah. So we're sitting in the Startup Grind and we heard from like founders of all these companies that
Airbnb,
are household names today. Yep. And Uber hadn't even come to Australia. I mean, we
were using Uber in America, and we were just like,
we should have brought it. But anyway.
Oh my god, funniest story about Uber. We have to tell them. We're in Canada. My family lives in Canada, and because of the time zone, we couldn't sleep. Yes. So we'd sleep during the day and then be alive at night. And it was like 4 a.m. and we were like, oh, we're craving Macca's, but like the only way we could get it is through Uber because no one's awake, and there was like no Uber Eats back then. So booked an Uber. Pulls up to the front when we're staying at my grandparents' house. They are standing at the window watching us leave the house, and then I get a phone call from my mum. who is that man in the black car? Where are you going? And I'm like, Mum, it's Uber. And she's like, what is Uber? What is Uber?
Yeah.
Come home now.
It was so funny.
Oh my God,
That was before Uber got any sort of.
My grandfather waited out at the door the entire time for like 40 minutes.
Oh my God, I love that.
But yeah, it was before Uber got any sort of wind. So
Yeah.
we started to catch on to these tech companies and
Sure.
and we really invested in their stories and we tried to like sort of mirror
Yeah.
in our own context, right? So we were hearing about a lot of them that did accelerator programs. Like a lot of them started because I think there's a lot of people that have ideas and the
Yeah.
execution is where the disconnect can often happen between success
Yeah.
and sort of fizzling out. So anyway, we came back to Australia and we looked for an accelerator program. We found the one at Sydney
Incubate.
Uni.
And then we started winning all these awards and we started to become recognized for like our business concept and our growth as well.
Sure.
And then through the university and the program, we met our first developers.
Yeah.
And we sat in front of them and we said, this is our business and we want to automate meal plans. That's what we want to do when we want to create an app. Like we had literally sketched it out. Like we had showed the entire flow of like how it should be done. Anyway, so months had passed and I think it cost us $10,000. We got $5,000 grant from the Incubate and then we invested $5,000. And we sat down at our last meeting where the handover was and the developer comes to us crying. He's like, I can't do it.
I can't do it.
I can't
It's
do
too
it. I
hard.
can't figure it out. It's too hard. And we're like, what do you mean it's too hard?
So
like,
where's our $10,000?
so they
Where's the app?
they refunded us. Did they
So was
refund
the
us?
app supposed
They partially
was the app
refunded us.
supposed to come?
That
Yeah.
was supposed. There
It
was a
was just-
handover meeting, and he
Yeah.
just said, "I can't do it, girls."
He couldn't do it.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
it
It's
didn't.
too complex.
It didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Mhm.
So then we, through the Incubate program, we met a tech mentor back then. And then he introduced us to a company in Seattle.
Mhm.
No, it was
Oh,
in Seattle.
Seattle,
And they outsourced to India. So it was like a middle company that would then be a project manager. So I think that project cost us about $150K. It was a big investment. And it was the reason why we'd never taken money out of the business because Jade and I felt so passionate about being able to fund this ourselves because we always wanted to have full control over the decisions we made for the company.
Sure.
And
We were like
so-
23 years old,
Yeah.
throwing $200K into an app.
I know,
Like,
it was crazy. And
this
back
was
then apps
cool.
were like not a thing.
Yeah.
And so this was like a 12-month project and we got
And so were
to
you
close to the end.
Speaking to people over in
Yeah,
Seattle.
every day. And there was a huge communication barrier. That
Mhm.
was like a really tough
I couldn't
The
imagine.
way we did things, which is sort of similar to like how we do it now, but I didn't really have a lot to do with the app development or any of the talking to the overseas
Yeah.
teams or anything like that. So my job was to bring in the money,
Yeah.
and Amal's job
Job
was
was
to
to
spend it. So I was doing
literally,
sales
yeah.
and marketing, customer service, and then Amal was working on the actual like project.
We
and development.
literally
What makes you two,
say
though?
that if it wasn't for Jade, we wouldn't have any clients. If it wasn't for me, our clients wouldn't lose any weight. So
Sure.
like we just have such a great partnership because we complemented
Because
each
you know I
other.
don't
so
It's
have.
true, though.
You know I don't have much of an idea when it comes to like strategy and the calories and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I leave that all to her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what
And
makes
then-
two people.
Yeah, and then sort
Yeah.
of like I.
I've not
to,
made $1 for this company. Like not even. Actually, I made one towel once, and I did not.
Oh, she won't let you.
I will
she
not
won't
let
you
Jade
live
forget
down,
about it. And it was like one sale.
Yeah.
So we started. We were on this project, and I think 12 months had passed, and it was like $150K later, and you know we got the handover, and it just didn't work. It just didn't
Did it have
work.
bugs and everything in it?
It
was
just like
buggy,
it
it was
wasn't spitting out a
ugly.
meal plan. Like it was telling us that for breakfast someone could get a bowl of cereal, and it was like 1,000 grams of cereal and like 20 mils of milk. Like it was just
It
so
was
off.
wrong.
The
Something
algorithm
was
in the
wrong.
back end just like wasn't.
It just
Yeah,
wasn't
it
working.
Yeah.
So
and
did you
then,
put it to the market?
No.
No, we
So
would
at
never
this-
put anything that
At
was.
this point,
chunky.
we actually separated Equalution and created another company called My Taste Guide.
Okay.
So no one knows about this story, but we were going to create an app called My Taste Guide and keep it very separate to Equalution.
Mhm.
And then we met Ken from Devika. So Alison, you would know Ken really
Yes,
well.
Yes.
And
Thank you, girls.
we met him through someone who would work with someone that worked for us at Equalution had attended some like app launch, and she's like, it was an amazing app. And then she hit that person up, and they said that a guy
Ken
called
had-
Ken had developed it, and so we reached out to Ken. And Ken came to our office. Back then, we were running the business from like a residential, and we were like, Ken, this is the situation. We need to automate Equalution as much as possible, like just the processes, the email. And then we want to build My Taste Guide again. Like, can you pull anything from this project that we spent $150K on? And then he's like, look, I can do it. I feel really confident. Let's focus on Equalution, because we were running the business until 4 a.m. every single day.
Sure. Doing
So
all
we
the
were at
plans
such
yourself.
high demand, and you know, we'd only just started hiring, and it was just like really blowing up at that point.
You're
We
working
couldn't
in
keep
the
on top.
business.
Yeah. And so he's
we were nutrition coaches. We were writing meal plans
for the first 4 years of running the business. And so Ken was like, look, let's work on Equalution first. Let's automate that as much as we can internally. And then we can build my taste guide on the side.
Sure.
He looked at the code and he's like, I can't touch this. He's like, this is just bad code.
Right. Yeah.
So $150K down the drain, did not get $1 back. It was like a huge wake up call for us. We were just like, okay, we've now done this twice.
But don't you think it's funny how little we didn't really care?
We didn't care.
Yeah.
So many people told us what we were trying to build was impossible. So you're telling me that you want to build a meal plan generator that spits out a meal plan based on someone's calorie and macronutrient goals that you've calculated, plus their dietary requirements of if they're vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, plus their food preferences, plus, you know, their
and then you want to tweak those numbers weekly, and then you want to give them new numbers the next week, and you want a diary.
You don't want to repeat any meals. Like, this sounds a bit crazy. And we're like, yeah, we can do it. We know we can do it. And Ken believed in us.
And Ken believed in Ken too. So
Ken's amazing.
He thought he could do it. He was probably sweating bullets behind the scenes, but he never showed that to us.
Poor Ken. Ken, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry and I love you.
Between the two of us,
I know.
Sorry for you.
Literally. And then so we started working on Equalution and we started building a new website because up until that point,
you couldn't even.
I built the website,
and also you couldn't even like the way our e-commerce system worked. It didn't speak to our active, like our CRM.
We had to invest in the automating Equalution. And it got to a point where Facebook, because we were running our business on Facebook Messenger, so we provide chat support. Facebook banned us. We had to create a fake account. And because we were starting too many group chats, so we got banned on Facebook.
And then we started
And then did you go to WhatsApp or something?
Yeah, we went to WhatsApp. We had WhatsApp going at the same time. God. And we started we started losing track.
We had a Google sheet.
You didn't even know what was going on.
We had thousands of clients.
Yeah, we did on this one Google sheet, right? And it would say their name, their email address, what package they're on, what calories they're on, what week they're on. And then if one of the girls accidentally pressed space on someone's name would go missing. We've lost a client. Do you remember those days? And Jade used to do it all the time.
With fire, and I'm hopeless.
I used to blame Jade.
I've erased the whole sheet before. And,
oh my God.
And she's had to go to recover it, and it's just like
literally.
And Ken was an investment for a lot of reasons.
Yeah. And then we went to Paris and we started talking about the business, and we were just like, okay, people are asking for a calorie counting.
It was in the line. It was in the line to get onto
literally,
a flight.
and it was so hot. We were like sweaty.
And it was hot. It was hot. It was sweaty. We're like holding each other like, I think we need to just build the app.
We need to build the Equalution
app,
not my taste guide.
Why do we have two businesses? We've got one business. People just know Equalution.
Yeah.
And then we're having this. We actually always used to have epiphanies.
At the same time.
And also overseas.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really good advice to, any entrepreneurs or people that are, moving into like starting their own business or something. You need to put yourself in environments that creativity can flourish. Because when you're stuck in the hustle and bustle of it all,
you don't actually know what's going on.
Yeah. You really lose sight of that.
So we made the executive decision to create one app, which was the Equalution app, and we quickly called Ken, like, Ken, we're gonna do it for Equalution. He's like, all right, girls, let's do it. And then it was months, like a year of developing what we have today. Back when we first launched the app, and we still work on our algorithm every single day. We are continually testing it. The girls give us feedback every single day. And it's just crazy. Like the first meal plan that got produced, it was like, oh my God, the feeling. It was just like, this works. Like this actually works. It was incredible.
And how much time has it saved?
Oh, so much time. So the first, sometimes it used to take us like 30 minutes up to do a meal plan. Sometimes it even used to take us like close to an hour to do. If we had a really difficult case.
Yep.
Like a lactose-free client on week 72, like thinking of how to like have variety in that meal plan, like different meals, and ensuring there was no lactose in it. It was just like a lot. Like it was a lot.
And how many weeks would someone be on a diet, like on the diets for?
We've had clients that have been with us since day one.
Yeah.
And
so there's no like time frame.
There's no time frame. I would say the average period of time, like our run rate is probably about 12 weeks.
On the current pricing, we're quite expensive at the moment. So on the current pricing, it's just not as sustainable to maintain. So a lot of people come to the platform to become educated, and then they go off, do it on their own for a little bit, and then they end up coming back.
How incredible is that though?
It is, and that was always really important to us as well. There was ample opportunity for us to make fast and quick money throughout the whole journey, but it would take away from that education and also just giving the tools for people to be able to have sustainable weight loss. 100%. So we always kept really true true to that educational piece because that's essentially, that's how we got here. That's why we got here. And that's what we got.
It's a tools for life. And that's what we hope to achieve with every person that is on our service.
Yeah.
So previously meal plans used to take an hour, and we're now at the point where meal plans can get auto approved. So it can be sent directly to the client without having us to be involved in the process. So it's been years in the making, and it's like a really
and that
big
allows
milestone.
us as well to spend more time on the premium coaching
actual
experience as well.
The feedback and the support, because that's why people invest in Equalution is because they want that one-on-one experience. And then if the girls are spending, you know, time on a meal plan, which has now been automated that fits the criteria of what a client needs, they can now spend that time coaching and providing the love and support that the client needs during this transformation.
So true. And then the business as a whole, how many guys in the team now?
So we've got 18 full-time girls in our team, and they're mostly nutrition girls. So they're composed of nutritionists, dietitians, graphic designers, sort of an array of things. And then we have 8 full-time developers with Ken at the moment at Davika.
I know,
so
I go there.
Ken curses us because we always grab every month. We're like,
Ken, can we have one more? Like, I think we were even negotiating a 9th one, literally 2 weeks ago.
It's incredible though. It's good really, things are happening. Yeah, is anything else happening in the business?
Yes.
Okay, quickly, you have to tell me.
So we have a really big launch happening on the 3rd. Oh my God, I'm combining it with the book launch. I know. Okay, so on the 3rd of November, we've got the book launch. So Jade will talk more about the book launch because that was an incredible project that she worked on for months and months.
I know.
So that's coming up, and we've already posted about that. And then another one that we've been working on for a very long time is a secret project. We've invested a lot of money. We've worked with companies in America, but I can just a little
bit.
Tell us a little bit. Is there's a new look and feel, and a few new things.
We've got our own transformation on its way.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
And when is this launching?
Don't hold us to it, but around like end of November, first week of December. So in time for summer.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And the book.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
The book. Thank you.
I remember probably this time last year.
We went to, I think we went for dinner when I got the offer.
And you were telling me all about it.
I know. It was really exciting. It's funny. I studied journalism, and one of the things, like when I was younger, sort of always wanted to do something. I always wanted to make something of myself. I didn't know what that entailed. Always really loved writing.
She's a really great writer.
Are you the one that writes all the content on the page?
She writes every single word that you see attached to Equalution is Jade.
Yes.
Literally. Yeah. So I've always loved tech
writing as well.
Every number you see is me. Every word you see is Jade.
Yeah. Oh my God, I need you two in my life.
It's very yin and yang. So I always really loved writing, and I sort of toyed like journalism. I don't know, but writing book was just like always on my radar. And then we had just someone that was watching us, and she was the GM of Bauer Media. Her name's Sally Egan, and she's like a phenomenal woman. Also like real boss babe as well.
Looks incredible. Her body's unreal.
Yeah,
she's
done Equalution, and she just sort of, I feel like she got wind of our message and what we stood for, and believed that more females needed to be equipped with the tools to be able to understand the Equalution mantra. So she believed in us enough to make an offer for us to write a book. Yeah. And naturally I was like, this is a dream come true. And she did say, you know, we can give you some assistance. I said,
no. We put Jade
I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, we put forward Jade, and we're like, you know, if there's anyone that's going to share our story and write about the Equalution philosophy, the best person to write it is Jade.
It was, and it was just a really fun experience for me. Yeah. I emotionally like really grew with that book. Like it was a lot of time and effort and whatnot, and a lot of it was like outside of work hours, so it was a bit of a slog, but in the same breath it was revisiting our why, and to be honest with you, at the time I was sort of going through something really personal with the business, in that when we moved to tech, so Amal's very tech savvy, and she was frothing on the redevelopment of Equalution, and I was sort of grieving and mourning a loss. Like I felt like I was losing my child that we'd sort of like birthed to look up and
I
be.
do want to say one thing though, like although it was very foreign to Jade, she was never opposed to it. She knew that it was the best thing for the company. So she's like, you like do it, like let's do it. We need to do it. Like I'm trusting you. I'm trusting Ken. Like we're gonna get it done. But like I don't understand this part of it, like the actual tech.
And I also
that shows a lot about you as well, because at least you were honest.
She was very supportive.
Honest, and you
I
knew
just
that
felt
you
a bit
weren't
hopeless as well, because Amal really took the reins
knew
with the app, and she really sort of like knew how to navigate it, and it was very familiar territory to her. Whereas for me, I just feel like I didn't flourish in the same way as I did when we were starting. I knew exactly how to grow Equalution. I felt like I feel like we came back from America, and I was like, right, let's go. But I didn't have the same knack when it came to building the app. So like emotionally, and I mean, you know, two girls, we lost our early 20s, and like it all happened so fast, and I feel like it all happened at once, and I was just like, oh my God, I think I'm going through a quarter life crisis.
You did.
I think I'm going through, and there was a lot of tears, and Amal's quite staunch, and she's like, you cannot cry right now.
No, I need you. I need you.
So it was just like, it was a time of growth.
The book came at a really good time. I
came
feel
at a
like
good
the
time.
universe gave her a gift.
revisited the whole thing.
Yeah, and it really like exercised skills and stuff that like were a bit rusty for me, and then also like brought back that love. I was like, yeah, this is our jam. At the end of the day, it can look and feel however the hell we want, but this is our message, and this is sort of why we maneuver out of bed. Yeah.
Wow. What sort of advice would you give to young entrepreneurs?
We always say just do it.
Just believe in yourself.
Yeah, because I feel like there's so many people that toy with ideas. I get people all the time, like, you know, sliding in my DMs and girlfriends and stuff like that. I've got this idea for a business. Honestly, just go with it. Just do it. If it falls belly up, I think take advantage of your youth.
Yeah,
you can do it at any time. Exactly. There's no time limit on executing a dream and having a passion. But I think as well, a lot of young people don't realize like the prime position that they're in to be able to make a difference in their world, in the world. You know, like we had a vision that really changed people's lives, and we're very aware of that. I feel like it would have been like a social neglect if we just, you know, just like if we ignored that. So I think people need to really seize, you know, ideas and just like lap it up and
just believe in yourself. Yeah. You know, if you've got the passion, you've got the drive and the determination, like you will win. Like you will get there. So true though. And also just focus on one thing. Don't try and start like 10 different companies and, you know, explore 10 different business ventures. Have the one thing that you are focused on and just go all the way with that.
I also think as well, and you could probably agree, Alison, because you've got like a wonderful team, but Amal and I never sort of stood at the top and clapped alone and just for ourselves. 100%. Like we wouldn't be where we are now with, you know, without our OG employees, with the ones that came with us from the start to now, the ones that came along the way. Our amazing EA Bree, who is like literally our backbone at the best of times, both physically, emotionally, in the work context, in personal context. You know,
she keeps us sane.
So does Jason.
Yeah, we had unreal.
Look at his face right now.
Giving them both.
They're both high-fiving each other. Like
we got to mention. They're actually best friends. They always email each other.
EA buddies. Yeah. You know, things like even our families, we're so lucky. Like there are so many parents that like sort of hold kids back and say, no, you've got to go to uni, you've got to do this. And we were so lucky, we just got free reign. It's super. We stepped out of our social scene. Our friends were like, you go girls, like do your thing, and thank those people. Get to where you want to get to.
We have very similar businesses and how we run it. And like I say this all the time, but I look after my staff more than I look after my clients because they're the ones looking after my 100%. Clients. But also we both have a lot of family involved in our businesses. How are you guys with that?
I mean, it's obviously not without its challenges, and you do by nature just sort of like look out for your family, whether it may be business good decision or, you know, not the best one. Well, you just look out for your family. But I think our family, I mean, my sister Zara works for us full time.
I fired my sister. She came to work half an hour late and I'm like, you're out.
You got to do what you got to do.
I'm very like, I don't care if you're family or not. This is a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, we need to do business.
But, you know,
I do the same. I fired my sister.
Yeah.
I look at Zara and Zara cries with us, she celebrates with us, and the level of passion and investment, it's like all the staff obviously love Equalution, but the depth that she has, and also what a lot of people don't give credit for with families, they think, you know, they've got such an easy run, they just get a job and all that kind of stuff. There's but what they deal with outside of those work hours, you know, Zara's literally like picks me up off the floor at home and just said, don't stress, everything's going to work out. You know, there's a lot of aftercare that goes into working with family that they don't get credit for.
They don't see. And like my sister, all due respect, she's the best. But we ended up going our own ways this year. But for the last 6 years, she's the one who's been my backbone. She's the one who's worked and grown this business to the operations.
Yeah.
And now I've got an actual operations team in-house. They always say, oh my God, your sister's done so much work. But her job is now in 4 different positions.
Yeah.
And I think, wow, Mel did do us so much.
Yeah.
But we just grew out of each other, and now our relationship's never been better.
And you've got to kind of do that as well. At some point or another, if it's the best decision for A, your relationship, and B, the business, you've got to do what you've got to do.
100%.
Yeah.
You girls are the best. Thank you so much for coming
Thank you for having us.
Congratulations.
And it was so good to see you as well. And we're huge admirers of you as well. You know that we've all done this exactly really in the same sort of
I always
journey.
love hanging out with you girls and going to coffee and having dinners and stuff, because our conversations is just, there's so much energy at the table.
Yeah,
and we're like, what are we doing next? Where are we going? It's so good. It's so nice to have people who are the same age, who have been through the same thing, who are going through the same thing, and who still want to grow.
Yeah,
of course.
Exactly.
Surround yourself around people that you want to be like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the only way.
Yeah. Thank you
so much for having us.
Thanks, Alison.